So, you know what time it is. It's time to look at the $500 or £430 Hogwarts Express set, which is now coming August 31st, 2022. So, we've not got long until this set comes out. This set has been officially revealed on Lego.com. This is all official pictures. I said in my last video I'll give you an in-depth analysis on this set when official pictures do get revealed, and that's what we have. So, obviously, £430, $500, August 31st. Very expensive, but we do get over 5,000 pieces, 18 plus. I think this is the first 18 plus train set we have ever gotten, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Disney train was only a 14 plus or a 16 plus, where this is obviously an 18 plus. So, we have so many minifigures. How many minifigures do we actually have? Do I have to count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. I think we have 21. I could be 1 or 2 out, but that's what I can count. It looks absolutely fantastic. Now, I just want to get straight into a certain point that I want to pick into. Yesterday, when I first looked at the set, a natural observation I had was like, okay, the train station's quite small. Because when I found out, I obviously did a video on the set being over 1 meter long, and I thought, okay, the train station will be over 1 meter long as well, because the train station will be a part of the stand with the track, which actually displays the train. So I just assumed we'll be getting a King's Cross station that was over 1 meter long. Obviously, that's not the case, and I was quite disappointed by that. But thinking about it, it's actually a good thing, because if you had the train station, the full length of the train, you can either display it with the station side, which means we can see all of the beautiful train station, and that's great. But crucially, it would block the train, which obviously, most of the piece count or half of the piece count is going to be going towards. So it would make half of the set sort of useless if you displayed it the station side forwards. Where if you displayed it train side forwards instead, that's great. You can see all of the train. But then you've got another issue of, well, now I can't see the big station. If you had the station the length of the train, that would all be blocked off, because you can only see like the top 20%, top 30% of the train station above the train, because the train is that big. So if you displayed it with the train forward, you wouldn't be able to see most of the train station behind it. And if it was the full length of the train, the piece count that would be going into that train station would be so huge, and for it to be all blocked off because the train is in the way would be so sad. So they've actually designed it in a way where the train station is there, you can see it, it's present, it's got a plaque there, but it only blocks the coal cart, so you can still see all of the locomotive and all of the passenger car while still seeing all of the station. So it's sort of like we don't have to make that choice between, okay, do we display the train station or the train? No, we can display both, and we can see all the train station and pretty much all of the train apart from the coal cart, which is, slightly blocked, but who cares really. You can still see, all the detail of the locomotive, and you can still get access to the carriage, because obviously there is parts inside the carriage which you want to get access to, which we will have a look at in a bit. But yeah, that's why I kind of like this train station design. Obviously initially my instant reaction was, okay, that's quite small, but it actually makes sense. So you've got the plaque at the front there. We'll take a closer look at the plaque in a bit, but yeah, I just think it looks absolutely stunning, this set. And also, obviously, the train station is needed to place and populate all of those minifigures, because you get too many minifigures to fit inside the train itself. And obviously, you could then say, okay, get rid of this train station and give us an extra carriage. It would be like nearly 2 meters long. Like, it's already long enough. It can't be any longer. Just no. So I prefer having the station, and obviously with half of these minifigures being the epilogue figures, that whole scene, the 19 years later scene, took place on the platform. So it would make no sense to put adult Harry and adult Hermione and stuff like that, and adult Ginny in the train. So you need the platform to actually pose those minifigures. So like I say, you can either have the full station, which, you know, we can see it all, which blocks the train, or we can have it where you have the train and it blocks the station, where this, you know, we can have a section of the station, I should say, sorry, and we can see, you know, the vast majority of the train at the same time. So that is an intentional design decision which Lego have done, and I think it's great. It doesn't take pieces away from the train. I think it's really smart, it's well thought out, and I take back that initial comment that I said yesterday, which was that the station isn't good enough, because even the detailed snippet that they took, it's big enough to recreate that scene, it's big enough to pose all the minifigures, and the detail on it is absolutely fantastic. So I have no complaints about it whatsoever. Right, now that point is over with, let's move on to the box art. So like I said yesterday, the box art is exactly the same as the Hogwarts Icons box art, and it's basically a black box art with the blue sort of glow behind it, and it's consistent with all of Lego's other 18 plus sets, which is fine. You know, I know some people may want a special sort of design box art for such a special set, it being the most expensive Lego Harry Potter set of all time, but I think it looks great, and I really like it. Obviously, Hogwarts Express Collector's Edition, this is the second Collector's Edition set we've ever gotten. The last one was the Hogwarts Icons Collector's Edition last year, and obviously these Collector's Edition sets have this special sort of logo, and this is basically the UCS equivalent which Star Wars has, but for Harry Potter. So from now on, all of these big sort of UCS sets are going to have Collector's Edition stamped on them for the Harry Potter theme, because obviously Harry Potter is one of Lego's best selling themes along with Star Wars, and it has been for quite a while now. It's not going anywhere, it's going to have a long lifespan, so it makes sense to introduce such a naming scheme within that, basically a new sub theme within that big larger theme of Harry Potter and the Wizarding World. So I think that's great. There is a video here, so let's take a look at it. Okay, it's just a 360, which will make that bigger. Yeah, so it is huge. I think this is 118 centimeters long and roughly 44.5 inches, I believe. But yeah, 118 centimeters is absolutely huge. It's up there with one of the longest Lego sets ever made. I think it's around the same size as the UCS Imperial Star Destroyer, which is of course about 100 or so pounds more than this, and it's also, I think it's even longer than the NASA Saturn V rocket when it's lengthways. So that's pretty cool. This picture doesn't seem to be loading for me. Okay, there we go. So yeah, this is just a bigger render of what we saw on the box art. It looks absolutely fantastic. Obviously, the issue I have, which will always be an issue, and I'm not going to take this back, is the colour is wrong. It's not totally wrong, obviously, it's a red train, but it's definitely closer to Lego's dark red colour than it is their bright red. This should have been dark red. And I understand all the other Hogwarts Express sets being this normal bright red colour, because not all the pieces required to basically make this set a thing is available in dark red. Even for the little play sets, you'd have to remold a lot of the colours in a lot of the pieces in these new dark red colours, and that will obviously be the same, even more so, with a Hogwarts Express which takes up, you know, probably 2,000 to 3,000 pieces at least, probably even maybe even 4,000. A lot of the pieces won't be available in dark red, and I get that. So that's why they use the normal red colour. But I think when you're going to be charging $500, you know, it's an 18 plus set. I think you've got to go the extra mile in expenditure on development to make it as accurate as possible, and that includes making it the correct colour in dark red, because it's definitely a dark red train. You could argue it might not look as good in dark red. I'm not convinced. I think it would look fine in dark red, but obviously the reason why is because not all of these pieces are available in dark red. I think I give it a pass with the play sets, because obviously they're just play sets. I understand they're not going all the way and spending a load of money recolouring pieces which aren't available in, you know, dark red and making them available in dark red just for that one set. That makes sense. But when it comes to the $500 UCS style sets, I think you've got to go that extra mile and give us a dark red Hogwarts Express. But that's not a major thing. I don't care as much as I thought I would. I think it looks fine in the normal red, and it definitely helps when a lot of this render is shaded to look a bit darker as well, especially with the shadows here. But you know, it looks stunning. It looks absolutely stunning. Looking at the front, obviously you've got the Hogwarts Express plaque sign on the front of the train. Usually this is a print on a large dish piece, and I'm happy to say it's not a print this time. I do think it protrudes from the train a little bit too much. You can't really see it from this angle, but from a different angle, from the back of the box, you can see that the sign comes out a bit too much. But I'll probably make a mods video on this set, which I will fix a lot of the train's issues. I'm not going to recolor it all in dark red, obviously, because that's just going to cost me an absolute fortune. Plus, it's probably not doable because, again, not all of these pieces are going to be available in that dark red. But I will definitely try and make some improvements to this set, which is definitely possible. It's not a perfect set, but it's pretty darn perfect. It's definitely a 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, I'm happy that the front dish piece isn't printed like usual. I'm happy that they've actually made it brick built, even though it does come out a bit too much. I also love the fact that they've added steps here in the actual cylinder part of the locomotive, where it gets progressively thinner and thinner towards the front of the train and gets progressively thicker and thicker towards the back of the train and the driver cab. What I don't like about the driver cab is that this sticker here is cut in two, and obviously the reason why is because it travels across two plates. But at that point, just use a different plate which goes horizontal, and put one large sticker on it, because having it cut in the middle, this number sticker here on the side of the driver cab, it looks silly. It really does. And I'll probably replace that sticker with the one we got in the 2018 Hogwarts Express set. That's probably another mod I'll do, but I'm not going to reveal all the mods that I'm going to do in this video. But yeah, I will be making that video once I've built the set, so sometime in early September. Other than that, we've got new train wheels. That's one of the things I was calling for in previous videos, is we need larger train wheels, and I'm happy to say we have larger train wheels, and they look great, and I'm really happy that they've been introduced. It gives the train community more options to build bigger and better and more accurate steam locomotives. Obviously, they're going to be very expensive on Bricklink because we only get 6 of them in a $500 set, so they're probably going to be about $5 each, but at least we have them. And that's probably all I've got to say about, okay, I think there's something else. So obviously, one of the things I initially thought when looking at this is like, okay, I think this needs buffers on either ends, just in case, you know, this train rolls off either side, because if it goes forward or backwards by like 5-10 centimeters, you know, just rolls a bit, then it's going to fall off and go on the floor and smash into a million pieces, into 5,000 to be exact. But I don't think that's necessary, because from what I can see, this is actually studded to the track. So it's actually got a brick built column underneath the front 2 wheels, which attaches to the track and stops it from rolling, similar to what they did with the Crocodile locomotive. Regarding the track, this is a brick built track. It's not the usual Lego track. However, it will go on the official Lego track because it is 5 wide. The wheelbase is 5 wide, and the locomotive itself is 10 wide at its widest point. Now, people do say that, I have seen people say that it's not minifigure scale, that it should be more closer to 8 or 9 wide and not 10 wide. And yeah, I get that, but for me it's close enough. This is 1:32 scale, where I think minifigure scale is technically 1:40, 1:42 or something, or 1:45. I'm not quite sure. But this is probably a little bit too big to be minifigure scale in the eyes of some people. But for me, it's close enough. You've got to allow some breathing room. And if it's only half a stud either side too wide, is what people are currently complaining at, you've got to give it a pass. You know, I think the fact we're getting an 18 plus locomotive train set for Lego, and it's got new train wheels. We're getting so many great minifigures. The fact we're getting this set in the first place, a UCS style Hogwarts Express, a big Hogwarts Express set, is a blessing in itself. And to complain that it's a little bit too wide, maybe, like, I think if you're going to be that critical for Lego sets, I don't think you're ever going to be happy with anything that Lego do in their constraints and, you know, what they have to do. It's probably a little bit too wide to make all the scenes and all the details in the carriage, because it probably needs to be that wide to actually incorporate those designs in there. And if that's the case, great, you know, so what? Like, again, we're never going to get a perfect train set, are we? Because if it was minifigure scale, then maybe the carriage won't be as detailed inside. So it's a give or take, isn't it? And people have their opinions on that, but for me, I'm just really happy with getting this set. And yeah, so we go on to our next picture now. We can see a bit of the plaque, it's half cut off there, but I think there's a different picture of the plaque. But this is obviously a recreation of the epilogue scene in the Deathly Hallows Part 2. So this is technically our second Deathly Hallows set, because our first one was the Ministry of Magic, of course. So yeah, looking at all these minifigures, it's just fantastic. These minifigures are going to be worth so much money on the aftermarket. It's going to be unreal. My goodness. And this is what I mean with the carriage. So it looks like the side sections are sort of removable. They're not properly held in place. They're not properly studded in place. They might be on, yeah, they're just basically on a 2-stud connection, and you can just take it off pretty easily. And there is free free compartment sections within the big carriage, and they have their own quote tile, and they're based on different scenes within the film. So you've got one carriage based on the Philosopher's Stone, one carriage based on the Prisoner of Azkaban, and the other carriage based on the Half-Blood Prince, I believe. So you've got the first one here. Has anyone seen my toad, I think it says? I can't really see. Yeah, I think it says that for Neville. From Hermione Granger. Has anyone seen a toad? That's it, yeah. I can barely see it because my monitor's like the opposite side of my room, so forgive me. But it's obviously the scene in the Philosopher's Stone where Harry and Ron are eating their way through everything that was on the trolley, basically. And Hermione comes in, asks if Neville's toad is anywhere. And that is the first time we see Hermione Granger. A great scene to recreate. And I love the quote tile here. Each of these compartments has a light brick as well. So there is 3 light bricks in this set. And yeah, I think it's really, really cool. And it replicates the scene well. It doesn't look too small. I think if it was any smaller, I think it would look sort of naff. But it looks to be an okay size. I think these luggage compartment pieces might be new pieces, but I'm not quite sure. They might just be the normal fence, like gate pieces, which I haven't seen them used for a long time. But it could be that, but I can't really tell if it's a new piece from this angle, but it could be. I'm not saying it definitely is, it definitely isn't, but it could be a new piece. Have you got more pictures? Okay, you've got more pictures of the compartments. So this is the Prisoner of Azkaban one. We have Ron saying, I think there's someone coming aboard. And this is obviously the scene in the Prisoner of Azkaban, where you've got the Dementor coming into the compartments. You've got Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Remus Lupin. I think this is great. I wish Lupin came with a luggage suitcase with RJ Lupin printed in gold on it, because that's obviously a reference to both the film and the book. You know, that's how Hermione knew who Lupin was without asking for his name, because it was printed on his suitcase. But we don't get his suitcase at all in the set, which, you know, I'm probably nitpicking at this point, but yeah. We do get the bottle of water, or I think it's water anyway. I can't quite remember exactly what it is, on the side here. And obviously it's just the same sort of compartment, just recreated for the Prisoner of Azkaban. And I think we get one more compartment, but do we not get a picture of it? We only get pictures of 2. Do we only get 2 compartments? I'm sure we get 3 compartments. I'm 99% sure we get 3 compartments. Okay, so maybe you'll see another picture of that later on. I'm not seeing it though, but here's what I mean. You see the sign at the front of the locomotive? It's definitely coming out a bit too much. which would need to be fixed. Obviously those big train wheels look great, and I just love the way it gets progressively thinner and thinner towards the front of the train, and that sticker across the two pieces, the two 2x3 tiles, oh, just please no. That definitely needs to be fixed. There's the coal cart. I'm sure a lot of people are going to mod this and motorize it by putting power up functions in this coal cart. That's just a wild prediction I have. There's the passenger cart. I think the gold accents really look fantastic, and I don't think they're the bright light orange, because I thought initially they were bright light orange, but it seems to me that the metallic, especially these ring pieces here, maybe it's a combination of both metallic and bright light orange, but these ring pieces here on the locomotive look like they are metallic gold, not bright light orange. Obviously metallic gold would be better, but again, bright light orange works as well. But that's just a detail I've noticed. I don't think you'd be able to properly tell exactly what colour it is without having the model in hand. Looking at renders, the two colours are so similar, you're not going to be able to tell. Yeah, we do get 3 compartments, because the Prison of Azkaban one is in the middle. Okay. When did we see a picture of the third compartment then? Here is the station and it's full. We can see the plaque there with Hogwarts Express on it and some details about it. And obviously I've talked a lot about the station. I've said my thoughts on it. I think it's fine for its purpose, and we get a lot of studs here on the platform, which allows us to stud in and pose on minifigures, and I think people are going to do that, and they're going to just leave them there because it is a big display piece. There is a tile at the top there, but I cannot read what it says. My monitor is just too far away, but I'm sure you guys will be able to see and read it. And I think the station looks great. I think these pillars as well on the top are new. They might contain new pieces. I can't quite see how they're made, but it's really imaginative what they've done there, and they do look really accurate from what I can see on the front of the box as well. So we do get this big tile piece. This is a 16 by 8, 16 by 10, I can't remember. It's a big tile anyway, and it's got the mold mark in the middle, but it doesn't really matter. It's the same tile pieces we saw in the last collector's edition set, which was the Hogwarts icons. Do you know, for the big letter, it used 3 of these pieces in the same light tan colour, but this time it's not got a letter printed on it. It's got platform 9 3/4. It's a ticket, basically. And maybe this is a trend with all collector's edition sets we will see in the future, is that we will have the same light tan big tile piece with something printed on it. If it's a letter or a ticket, or whatever it may be, maybe that will be the case. I could definitely see it if we got a night bus, for example. We could get a night bus ticket, maybe. But yeah, I think that looks absolutely fantastic, and it's something to display next to the set, and it's a nice token to get with it. I'll say that. So we have the back of the box now, and yeah, we can see the length of the train is 118 centimeters, absolutely huge. And something that you've noticed, so you see on the top of the train, protruding out of the gold sort of funnel thing, we have a black rod. If you can see that there, you see we've got a black rod there, and when you look at just a normal picture of the locomotive, it's not there anymore. So this is an extra piece which is given to you to put into the gold funnel, and I imagine you turn it and it will either turn the wheels, or I have no idea. I think there's a video which may show and explain it. God, it looks huge, doesn't it? But I haven't seen the video yet. This is the first time I've just gone onto the page and given you my live reaction and my detailed thoughts on the set and everything to do with it. And yeah, I think that's a feature I've noticed. I don't know what it does, but it's something you put into the gold funnel. You obviously will turn it and something will happen. Again, I don't know what. But you can see all 3 compartments here at the bottom of the box art. Obviously the one on the far right is based on the Half-Blood Prince, and you can see the light bricks in action on all of these renders. So let's have a look. Yeah, there is to Hogwarts Express in all its glory. It looks absolutely huge, and as you can see, this is exactly what I mean. So the train station is behind this, but you can't see it because the train is blocking it. So if you spend an extra 2,000 pieces, an extra $200, and make this a $700 set, and have the train station go all the way along, then it's pointless because you can't see most of the station. It will be completely pointless. You can pose all the minifigures in the snippet it gives you, and there is no need for extra space. It will just be dead space, and for a higher price point. And obviously if you flipped it round, just showed it to show off the train station, well then you can't see the train. So that's the issue. But here, when it's displayed, you can see the train station, you can see the epilogue scene, you can recreate that snippet from the film. That's basically what this train station is. It's a snippet from the film. We have the plaque at the front, and we can see all of the train. It's not getting blocked off by a big station in the way. So that's why I think they've really thought through the design of this train station, and it's not an oversight. It really isn't an oversight. It's a deliberate choice that the designers have made when making this. I just want to stress that, because I know people are just complaining that the station is not big enough, but again, it's intentional. And I don't want to take pieces away from this train to make the train station bigger, which we wouldn't see anyway. So yeah, they're all the minifigures. Again, I'm not going to count them, but I'm pretty sure there's 21. I think it will say at the bottom of this page anyway exactly how many figures there are, but I'm pretty sure there is at least 20 in the set. And yeah, it looks fantastic. Let's have a look at the video now, which again, this is my first time seeing this video, as well as maybe you guys as well. So let's take a look. Oh, it does. I wouldn't display it there though. Can you imagine displaying it there? Someone's just going to push it off and it's going to fall all the way down and smash. I would not display it there. I would not feel comfortable displaying it there. It looks like a very interesting couch. I know this is off topic, but I'm sorry. Why would you have a couch here and rest your back against a brick wall? That looks so uncomfortable. What? Who has designed this house? That looks ridiculous. And again, someone could just push that off. Whoever's thought of this layout, I judge them. Oh, it does look huge. You see, that train station, it's significant. Like, it's not a tiny station, and it's just not the full length of the platform, which people obviously wanted. But I think this is more than fine, more than adequate. You're paying for the train, aren't you? And you're certainly getting a hefty train. Oh, here's the feature. So you put the black rod in the gold funnel, and let's see what happens. Oh, it moves the wheels. Oh, okay. It moves the wheels backwards and forwards. That is clever. Oh, when you press on the silver button at the top and it oh, that's so cool. Like, you press the silver button at the top and you can just see what's going on in the carriage without having to take apart the... Oh, that's so clever. I love that. I love that more than I should, but that is so clever. I can't wait to get this set. I can't wait to get it. I will be streaming this, obviously. I did put a community tab out asking, should I do one big 16-hour build stream or 2 8-hour build streams one day after the other, and you guys overwhelmingly, 70% to 30%, said we should do 2 8-hour streams back to back. So I'll be buying the set on August 31st when it comes out on release day. Then on September 1st and September 2nd, I'll be doing 2 8-hour streams where I'll be building this set. I estimate it to be a 16-hour build. It could be a little bit shorter, but it'll be roughly that, especially at my build speed, which isn't the fastest. But yeah, I'm just seeing if there's anything else. You can see all the minifigures there in its glory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 figures, I think. Again, it may be 1 or 2 out because I'm just rushing, but I think it's 22 figures. Recreate 4 classic scenes in Harry Potter. Obviously, you've got the 3 compartments and the one on the platform 9 3/4. So that's it. That's absolutely fantastic. I am so happy about this set. It's not perfect. Obviously the colour is wrong and the scale might be a little bit too big, but I don't care. I love this set. I'm buying this day one and I can't wait to build it with you guys and share that experience. So make sure to subscribe to see some more LEGO Harry Potter videos and to see me build this set. I've been TopicBricks. I'll catch you tomorrow for another LEGO Harry Potter video. I'll see you there.